Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has canceled his trip to Brussels to meet with NATO ministers this week as he remains in the hospital for what the Pentagon is saying is an emergent bladder issue. Secretary Austin underwent a non-surgical procedure under general anesthesia. The secretary's official duties are currently being handled by his deputy. Officials say he will be monitored overnight and is expected to resume his duties tomorrow. CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe joins us now. Ed, thanks for being here. What is the White House's response and handling of this situation?
Well, they're much more pleased with how the transparency around this one went. The announcement, of course, came Sunday during the Super Bowl that the secretary was being moved back to Walter Reed. Today, there was no word on whether the president and the secretary spoke, but there was also no concern expressed about his ability to continue doing the job. And the fact that he was just under general anesthesia, had a non-surgical procedure, and is expected to be back on the job on Tuesday is encouraging. The fact that he also transferred his duties to his deputy while all of this was underway today is another perhaps more encouraging sign for those that worry about transparency and continuity of government, making sure that somebody isn't distracted by some personal matter when they're supposed to be overseeing a department as sprawling as the Pentagon. But it's a reminder that this is a defense secretary who obviously has some pretty serious health issues, but is surrounded by an operation that can continue despite him.
What about the Vice President Harris? She has been giving a series of interviews recently. I read one this morning in the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
Is she becoming, as ever, a central part of this reelection campaign? And what do you make of her public comments, especially in the last few days, in terms of how she's been on the defensive of her running mate, President Biden, and not only of their record, but of what a second term could look like and their ability to lead in that capacity?
Her comments Friday in defense of the president and in attacking the special counsel were some of the most forceful I've ever seen from her in terms of bucking up the president directly, saying that the report by Robert Hur was politically motivated and not reflective of the president she works alongside every day. The issue, of course, for voters is they don't get to sit and work alongside him every day. She does. So while she can pay testament to the work they do together, it's not necessarily something voters have seen themselves from a president who's far less public. But what was perhaps most interesting is what the vice president then did on Saturday. We reported earlier today that she hosted a meeting of a handful of battleground state governors and recent elected governors in the Democratic Party at her house for about 3 hours to go over campaign strategy, to hear them out, and to get their concerns expressed so that she can take that back to the president and his campaign team as things continue. And she heard, most especially from these governors, we're told, that he needs to do a better job campaigning sharply and aggressively on the issue of preserving or defending abortion rights, and then the issue of immigration, which they feel has been hijacked by Republican lawmakers in recent weeks, who first demanded the president try to come up with a deal. He then blessed the bipartisan talks, and then as soon as they were unveiled, had them essentially opposed by Republicans who blocked it. They say that is the kind of thing that the president should be out forcefully calling out and denouncing on a regular basis. And what was most intriguing for guys like you and me who follow this stuff on a regular basis, Bob, is who was around the dining room table at the vice president's residence with her. Governor Walz of Minnesota, Governor Evers of Wisconsin, two powerful Midwestern governors who didn't easily win re-election, but won re-election in 2022, but also Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan, J.B. Pritzker of Illinois, Wes Moore of Maryland, Roy Cooper of North Carolina, and Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania. It's those last few names especially that's intriguing. While they're all on board with Biden, and none of them discuss the possibility of removing him from the ticket, a handful of those governors might face the vice president in a future White House Democratic primary. And so while they are partners now and committed to getting the president reelected, let's see how it is after Election Day later this year, as some of those around that dining room table may be thinking about their own futures, despite whatever the vice president may be planning.
Ed O'Keefe, thank you for your reporting and your insights. Much appreciated.